Good day, grade 10.
Our macro skill focus for this session is literature.
Welcome to an introduction to Greek mythology.
These are the things that we shall be discussing in this video. First, a brief introduction on Greek mythology and its origin. Second, the major Greek divinities. Third, the minor Greek divinities. Lastly, the other characters in Greek mythology.
Keeping this in mind, we have the learning target for this session. I can identify key elements of Greek mythology.
We shall start with an overview of Greek mythology.
Greek mythology is composed mainly of stories about gods and goddesses, but it is not an account of Greek religion. Instead, these stories were written to serve as a way of explaining how things came to be.
Some stories in Greek mythology were also written to teach about various subjects such as the responsibilities of humans, right and wrong behavior, love and hate, emotions, strengths and weaknesses of humans, family relationships, and rivalry and conflicts, among others. However, there are also myths that do not serve to explain anything. These function as a form of pure entertainment and were told by ancient Greeks to each other to pass the time.
There are three works that served as the basis for classical Greek mythology. These are the Theogony by Hesiod and the Iliad and the Odyssey, both of which were written by Homer. These three works contain most of the basic themes and characters found in Greek mythology.
Among the prominent characters of Greek mythology are the divinities. Divinity means the state of being God.
The Greek divinities may be divided into several groups, among which are the following: Titans, Olympians, Minor Divinities, and the other characters such as demigods, heroes, monsters, and mortal men.
Titans are the earliest group of Greek divinities. They are the children of Uranus, or heaven, and Gaia.
According to Hesiod's Theogony, there were 12 original Titans: Cronus and Rhea, Hyperion and Theia, Coeus and Phoebe, Iapetus and Clymene, Oceanus and Tethys, Themis, and Mnemosyne.
At the instigation of their mother Gaia, the Titans rebelled against Uranus, their father, who had shut them up in the underworld called Tartarus. Cronus led them to depose Uranus. When they defeated Uranus, the Titans declared Cronus as their leader.
But one of Cronus' sons, Zeus, rebelled against his father, and a struggle then ensued between them in which most of the Titans sided with Cronus. Zeus and his brothers and sisters finally defeated the Titans after 10 years of fierce battles called the Titanomachia. The Titans were then hurled down by Zeus and imprisoned in a cavity beneath Tartarus.
And so the Olympians took over and are declared as the most powerful group. They live in Mount Olympus, hence the origin of their collective name, Olympians. There are 12 Olympians or major gods and goddesses. Let's get to know them one by one.
Zeus is the ruler of all the divinities of Mount Olympus. He is the god of the sky and thunder. He is often portrayed with a scepter in one hand and a thunderbolt on the other, which are both symbols of his authority. His wife is Hera, who is also his sister.
The second most powerful god in Mount Olympus is Zeus' brother Poseidon. Most of you may know him as the father of the famous novel and movie character Percy Jackson. He is the god of the sea and earthquakes. Most of the time, he is portrayed with a 4-horse chariot and a trident over the waves. The trident is his 3-pronged scepter.
Third in the list is Hades, who is also Zeus and Poseidon's brother. He is the god of the underworld. Though Hades supervised the trial and punishment of the wicked after death, he was not normally one of the judges in the underworld, nor did he personally torture the guilty, a task assigned to the Furies. Portrayed with a beard and a solemn, mournful look, he has a trident, a 2-pronged fork modeled after Poseidon's trident.
Next, we have Apollo, the son of Zeus and Leto. He is the god of the sun, music, poetry, and purity. Beardless and athletically built, he is often depicted with a bow and arrow or a lyre.
The next Olympian is Ares, who is the eldest son of Zeus and Hera. He is the god of war and is believed to be the most unloved god by both gods and men. That is, with the exception of Aphrodite, who bore him many children out of wedlock. He is usually represented wearing a helmet, a shield, and either a sword or a spear.
Next, we have the brother of Ares, Hephaestus. Hephaestus is the son of Zeus and Hera. He is the god of fire and is the blacksmith for the gods. Bearded and ugly, stocky and lame, he neither possesses the physical flawlessness of the other gods, nor does he stimulate the fitting respect. Sometimes he is depicted with an oval cap and almost always with a hammer and an anvil. Even though he is an ugly god lamed by his own mother, he was the husband of none other than Aphrodite herself.
Half-brother of Ares and Hephaestus is Hermes. He is the son of Zeus and Maia, one of the 7 daughters of the Titan Atlas. He is the god of commerce, travelers, and thieves. He is also the guide of the souls. In addition, he is called as the messenger of the Olympian gods. He was represented as an athletically built nude youth, immediately recognizable by 4 attributes: a broad-brimmed hat, petasos, winged sandals, talaria, a purse, and a herald's wand, kerikeon.
Moving on to the goddesses, first we have Hestia. She is the oldest sister of Zeus. She is the goddess of the hearth or fireplace. There are only a few pictorial representations of Hestia. Usually, she is portrayed as a modest, middle-aged, veil-wearing woman. Sometimes, she stands by a large fire, carrying a staff or holding some flowers in her hands.
The next goddess is Hera. She is the wife and sister of Zeus. She is known to be the goddess of marriage. As such, she is also the deity most associated with family and the welfare of women and children. Her marriage, however, was an unhappy one, since Zeus had numerous affairs. She was usually portrayed alongside Zeus as a fully clothed matronly woman of solemn beauty, wearing a cylindrical crown called polos, or a wreath and a veil. Sometimes, she carries a scepter capped with a pomegranate and a cuckoo, the former a symbol of fertility, and the latter a token of the way she was wooed by Zeus.
Athena. Athena was born in most miraculous circumstances. When Zeus learned that Metis' next child may overthrow him, he swallowed his first wife who was already pregnant. He then started to have tremendous headaches. Hephaestus struck him with an axe and Athena leapt out of Zeus' head, fully armed, crying so mighty. Thus, she is dubbed as the goddess of wisdom and war. In art and literature, Athena is usually depicted as a majestic lady with a beautiful but stern face, unsmiling full lips, gray eyes, and a graceful build emanating power and authority.
Aphrodite is the daughter of Zeus and the Titan Dione. She is the Olympian goddess of love, beauty, sexual pleasure, and fertility. Beautiful and enchanting, she was frequently depicted nude as a symmetrically perfect maiden, infinitely desirable and as infinitely out of reach. She was sometimes represented alongside Eros and with some of her major attributes and symbols: a magical girdle and a shell, a dove or a sparrow, roses and myrtles.
The last of the 12 Olympians is Artemis. She is the daughter of Zeus and Leto, a Titan daughter of Coeus and Phoebe. When she was a few days old, she helped her mother give birth to her twin sibling Apollo. She is the goddess of the hunt and the moon. She is almost universally depicted as a young, beautiful, and vigorous huntress carrying a quiver with arrows and holding a bow, typically wearing a short knee-high tunic and often accompanied by some animal.
We will now move on to the minor divinities or the other gods and goddesses in Greek mythology.
First, we have Eros, or the god of love. He is commonly known as Cupid. Second is Dionysus, the god of wine and the son of Zeus and Semele, a mortal princess of Thebes. Third are the nymphs. They are beautiful maidens who were in charge of guarding various parts of nature.
There are 5 types of nymphs, namely the Naiads, who are the freshwater nymphs, the Nereids and Oceanids, the sea nymphs, daughters of Nereus and Oceanus, the Oreads, or the mountain nymphs, the Hamadryads, or the tree nymphs, and the Dryads, who are also tree nymphs but specifically for oak trees.
Another minor divinity is the Fates. They are 3 goddesses who control the destiny of men. They are Clotho, who spins the thread of life, Lachesis, who assigned each man his destiny, and Atropos, who caused the thread of life.
Next are the Furies. They are responsible for punishing evildoers in the afterlife. Tisiphone is the avenger of murder. Megara is the punisher of crimes, especially marital infidelity, while Alecto is the punisher of moral crimes.
Last on the list of the minor divinities are the Muses. They are 9 goddesses of different arts and sciences who are all daughters of Zeus and Mnemosyne. Calliope, the muse of epic poetry. Urania, the muse of astronomy. Melpomene, the muse of tragedy. Terpsichore, the muse of song and dance. Clio, the muse of history. Polyhymnia, the muse of hymns or songs to the gods. Erato, the muse of love poetry or love songs. Euterpe, the muse of lyric poetry. And Thalia, the muse of comedy.
Aside from gods and goddesses, Greek mythology also features the following: demigods, who are partly divine and partly mortal beings. Hercules and Percy Jackson are examples of this. Heroes, they are mostly or fully mortal beings with gods as ancestors. Achilles from the Iliad and Odysseus from the Odyssey are examples of heroes. Monsters are terrifying creatures. The Cyclops and Minotaur are examples of these. Lastly, men are mortals. They give worship and praises to the gods and goddesses.
That's it for an introduction to Greek mythology.
We hope that you can now identify key elements of Greek mythology.
Thanks for watching.